Hello and welcome back. This is Felix Reyes here. Excited to be back here on another night. We got our guy, Felix Castro. This is a really good moment here. We got two Felixes on the show. So if you were tired of me, I brought in another Felix to kind of help out. We're drafting actually last night over on his channel. So make sure you guys check that out. Best Ball Nation over there. Hit the subscribe button and like the video. We out here having a good time. We're about to draft on Underdog, get ourselves a Best Ball Mania. Felix, how are you tonight?
It's another great day. When it's another, big Najee day, I guess some people would say. I might have retweeted 50 people today, and there's some heads turning. So people were like, "Oh, he's got a little juice to him still." So a lot of people saying, "Oh, he's dead." So we're gonna find out this season. I'm pretty excited about it.
Why don't you let everyone know your current exposure to Najee?
So over on DraftKings, I have over 90% in the DK Millie.
Jeez.
And I'm working on it. I was a little hesitant over on UD because you can't really draft zeros over there. So I just got through 50 today. So I'm probably gonna have, based on the current exposure, I'll probably have 60 to 80 over on UD by the end of it.
All right. Well, now that he is currently on a team, I may feel better about that click. So let's see how this draft goes. I have taken one Najee, I'll be honest, on one of my streams. It made a lot of sense then. I don't remember which exact team it was, but I do know I have a share of him. All right, we're about to hit enter here. So if you guys want to hop in this Best Ball Mania with us over here on Underdog, we are in. We are currently waiting for 8 people. So if you guys want to hop in and join us here in this draft, feel free to do so. Felix, we got to let the people know. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I've been promoting you a little bit on the show. I already kind of let them know that you were a DK Millie winner. So why don't you go ahead and share a little bit about that, please?
So I'll start with season 1. I got skunked that season. I did nothing but the $3, and I got skunked. But the year after that, I was listening to touts everybody, and I was just like everybody else, listen to everything they said. But what I did was this is before everybody was posting their exposures, their real ideas about best ball. So everybody was brand new to it. So what I did was, I think there was a big flaw in the rankings, and nobody adjusted the ranks back then. So what I did was I pulled Cooper Kupp into the 3rd round every time. So I got a roughly 80 to probably 90% Cooper Kupp that year, the year that he was the offensive player of the year. And so I paired him here. Yeah. And I paired him with Chris Godwin, which that was the Tom Brady, and they were amazing year. So I had a lot of that combination. I had over a 50% advance rate in the DK Millie that year, and even though I had that amazing advance rate, the cutoff, I went from 80 teams to 13 teams into the semis, and then I only got the 1 into the finals. And to be honest, I didn't think that team was any good. It was filled with COVID, injuries, and everything. And I mean, I practically hit a moonshot by every single one of my healthy players went absolutely nuts on it. And then to top it all off, Najee Harris, last play of the game of the season, then came down to the last play of the season where they were just running the clock out. They could have taken some ease, but instead Najee Harris, right off the right side tackle, breaks it open, 36-yard touchdown to win me the 1 point for the 1 million.
How about that? And I'm sure that was a great feeling, and not only a great feeling, but I'm sure you were sweating that pretty hard there.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the excitement of winning a big one, but we're here another year hoping to get it, and I'm sure you're still hoping to land it. I mean, with the dollars up top now, you got over there on DK, $3 million up top. We were talking a little bit about the payout structure yesterday, and the top 3 is $3 million, second place is $2 million, and third place is $1 million. And we're like, anywhere in that top 3 we would be just happy with.
Yeah.
But of course, we are drafting over here on Underdog Fantasy. First place is $2 million. We are currently drafting from the 10th spot here. So we did not get the 101. We will be drafting another one after this, so we're really hoping, fingers crossed, we can get so. I did see your exposure online. I know you mentioned that just here. What is your exposure on Jahmyr Gibbs? Because I've been struggling to get the 101 here.
I've run puring. I have 16% Gibbs. I have I think 8% or 6% Bijan, and I have 10% Chase. So
you've been getting top 3.
Yeah.
It's through nice. 50 drafts, you've been getting top 3 like that?
Yeah. And well, it's even better over on DraftKings. So I don't know what I did to deserve it, or there's like some kind of signal where those are going to be the absolute worst picks. So we're going to find out here.
We shall see. You know what's pretty funny about this draft for you? First, in the first hole here in the 101, Detroit Lions is the name of the team, and they end up with Jahmyr Gibbs. Talk about running pure there.
Yeah.
All right, we're about to come up here. What are your thoughts on this next pick here with the names on the board currently?
I have a bunch of CD Lamb. When I typically get the back half, and I get a lot of CD, because then you can pair him up with any running back that you want.
And I figure CD would be gone there. What route do you typically like to go here?
On UDI, I do typically take the fall of ADP, because that's not something that normally happens.
Okay. So you want Taylor?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not typically a Taylor guy, but when he falls 2 to 3 picks in the first round, you got to take that unique combo that you're going to get.
Okay. Any thoughts on Taylor? Because I feel he's been a bit polarizing, right? He's been falling. I feel in drafts lately, he's not being taken as much, at least on a consistent rate, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are your thoughts? You said you're not so much of a Taylor guy, but even if ADP falls in the first round, what say you over some of the guys there that you could probably select?
Yeah, I'm not a big James Cook fan either, so like I'll happily take him over Cook, but I think he's still going to get all the work that's there. Like he's still in for a huge workload. Now the addition of Keenan Allen, it is a little bit more enticing, because they're going to have like more plays down in the red zone. Shane Steichen does run like quite a bit at the red zone too, so it could be another solid year. It's just he got a lot of touches, so I get a little worried about injury risk, but
I get it. Yeah, no, for sure. Julio, welcome to the channel, man. Welcome to the stream back again. He asked, did you buy his jersey? Najee Harris, that is.
I bought his jersey for the Steelers. I bought his Chargers jersey, and you damn sure know I'm going to buy his Giants jersey.
There you go. All right, we're back up here. I usually click Kenneth Walker, but we do have you on the show today, so Marion Hampton might be the route.
Hampton. Yeah, Hampton. I mean, did you see that highlight today where he was just crushing dudes? Yes, please.
Hampton, it should be a really good year, man. Excited. Mike McDaniels, right? Enough said.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniels' offense, his whole run game, that concept and stuff. It should be a big year. I know there's a lot of running backs in that backfield. You got Keaton Mitchell, you got Kamani Vidal. Usually when I talk about them, I guess my thought process right away goes, I believe obviously all three were going to play a major role on this team. Or when I say major role, they were all going to have a role of some sort. So when we had the news that, when basically it was broken down that, all three would have a role, and you saw some overreaction, and I've been grabbing Hampton towards the tail end of the second round. I was just like, had we not thought about that before? Like, what reason should they peel back from Kamani Vidal? Why wouldn't they want to run Keaton Mitchell at times? So, I mean, I'm curious your thoughts as far as snap shares and such. I mean, I'm pretty sure you obviously think Omari Hampton's obviously RB1, but the guys behind him, what do you think is playing out for them?
I thought that was one of the biggest moments so far in the offseason. Like, of course he's going to say, we're going to give whoever's the hot hand the ball. Like, if clearly something was working, I hope to God he's giving the person that has the upside in that matchup, gives him more opportunities. So yes, like, of course that's going to happen. But the bell cow running back who they're going to start every game with, or probably 90% of the games with, is going to be Hampton. Unless they see something on tape where they think one of the other running backs might have a leg up somewhere, then you should use that. But I think Hampton's is in line for a huge touchdown, upside season, and it's still going to get it's going to get the majority of the workload. I don't know if we really want Keaton Mitchell taking a whole bunch of snaps. Like I still want to be between 15-ish snap or not snaps, but like plays.
Yeah, and he should have all. I mean, if not all the goal line touches as well, which obviously is going to be the biggest part of him. I mean, your goal when drafting him here in the second round is he gets double-digit touchdowns, and that's pretty much what everyone's projecting. We are back up on the clock here. Think this is a great spot to get wide receiver. Are we going all Chargers here with you on the stream today?
I think we get T here because we talked about it yesterday.
That move.
I went through their schedule today. Man, it is like touchdown, or it's going to be high scoring blowouts. It's going to be a lot of fun watching the Bengals work this year. So this gives us an opportunity to get both parties of that.
The Bengals and the Chargers, expecting both offenses to be top tier in the league. T. Higgins, I've mentioned many times on this stream that I just think the price on T. Higgins versus what he used to cost is like perfect right now. Because prior to this, I remember he was always going in that back end of the second, in that turn. And it was rare that it was harder to click his name before because you were taking Chase in the first round. And then basically, you know what this kind of reminds me? Basically, when it comes to ADP wise, you're seeing the same scenario with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens.
Yeah.
But over there, I feel it's a bit different just how George Pickens has come out for spike weeks. But more or less, I think in terms of ADP, that's what we're kind of seeing here. So seeing T. Higgins in the third round now feels a lot more comfortable. All right, we're back up on the clock. What do you like here, sir?
I have my highest owned quarterback right now is Josh Allen.
Okay, I don't have much Josh Allen, I'll be honest. So perfectly happy here to take Josh Allen.
In the fourth round, it's you're getting the number one quarterback for the last like two years, fantasy wise. If he's not one, he was two. You know what I'm saying? Like he is the top tier. There's nothing, he's going to score on the ground. He's going to score through the air. Like over on a site where there's not like bonuses or stuff like that. Like you're planning on a lot of touchdowns. Josh Allen's going to score a lot of touchdowns, and there's no anything you can nitpick with him either. So it's like all these guys in this fourth round, there's a little something, like a little something wrong with them. Josh Allen is clean in my head, and you don't have to pair him with anything.
Yeah, and it feels like these elite quarterbacks, right, are going a lot cheaper than what they have gone in the past. Because Josh Allen wasn't firmly in the second round. So you're right. Getting him in the fourth round versus the third, I don't like clicking his name in the third. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I haven't selected him. Because typically when I'm drafting, most likely he's taken off the board or I've gone different direction based on my builds. But yeah, Josh Allen in the fourth round, I've seen Lamar Jackson drop in the sixth round, and I've been more than happy to click that name there. And then Jalen Hurts is going pretty far out too. Not always a fan of Jalen Hurts, but I mean, you could make an argument where he's going right now, still pretty good for his price.
And it's not just that. Like over on UD, you don't need three quarterbacks. You're looking at a little less roster spots. So like you're automatically getting one quarterback completed, and you may only have to take one quarterback or one more quarterback, and you could take whatever one. Because like right now, we could take Burrow potentially in the sixth, and we'd be done. Or we could, or we just keep building our team, and we just kind of like let the draft one of them that really falls. We could just take that other player.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's kind of what I typically do with a Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Rarely do I ever go three quarterbacks in those build. Yeah. And there goes Lamar Jackson taken off the board. Hey, guys, if you guys are joining us for the first time here, welcome. We got our guy Felix Castro joining the show today. DJ Moore gets taken off the board, was hoping to stack him alongside Josh Allen. But if you guys are here, make sure to show some support. Hit that like button, hit that subscription button, and that notification button. We got a lot of fun stuff. We are on day 11 of 31 days of best ball. Really excited for what's to come. And we are out here just vibing right now, drafting and trying to get us a team, hopefully with the good luck to rub off of us with Felix Castro, former Millie winner. And we can win the big one here. All right, we are back up on the board. I personally think we should be going wide receiver. Okay. Out of these three guys, I have been trying to take a little bit Rome Odunze based off of this current build, and I can give a little bit of that take with the time running out now.
Yeah, that's fine.
I do feel Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say we could look at Travion. Like the only reason I was gonna say that was because there is like a whole bunch of receivers here,
Mhm.
and there was no running back else that was in that range. So I was like, well, we could go Travion, and then let whatever receiver fell to us. But Rome, there's gonna be no complaints from Rome for me. I was high on him his rookie year, a little disappointed last year, but yeah, it's still a good pick regardless.
Yeah, no, I was talking to JSU yesterday, who we had on the show. It was a really good show yesterday, a good stream. We were talking about the Rome talk. A lot of it really has gone with like, if I can't get Luther Burden, I still want a piece of this offense, right?
Yes.
And a lot of these guys are so expensive when it comes to this Bears team. So anytime you can get any exposure to that team, I'm riding it. And then with the wide receiver stuff here, I mean, look at how much have already taken. I would not be surprised if they take another wide receiver here as well, which would have left us with like a Brian Thomas or a Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
So and there goes Ramondre. So we're still in a good spot here. I still think. What say you? What do you like here?
Tyler Warren. To pair up with we get all the touchdown equity.
All right. I love that.
Yeah. And we can kind of pair him up with DJ. If that's a nice little if he's still there kind of thing.
Yeah, I've been wanting to take more Tyler Warren, so it helps that you're on the show to help me kind of take away there of other moves. We currently have a 1-2-2-1 build. Let's go to the chat, see what's cooking here. Julio says, "Do you guys like Hampton over Chase Brown? What say you, Felix?"
We talked a little bit last time. I don't mind either or. In fact, I've been taking a little bit more Chase over on DraftKings for the PPR upside. He's going to get all, he's not going to get all the work, but he's going to get a lot of work through the passing game as well over there. I'm indifferent over there. Over here on DraftKings or on Underdog, I do prefer the Hampton for the touchdown upside.
Yeah, I am currently on both sides. I do like Chase Brown a little bit over, but the gap isn't too wide. I do like Hampton for sure. Andrew, welcome back to the stream, man. He says Lamar is a bum. We got Chasers, my guy Joey here. Felix Castro, honest opinion, is Caleb really that good the way Bears fans describe him? Let me give you a little backstory of my guy Joey here. JSU was having a ball with him. He is a quote unquote Bears fan, but he hates Caleb Williams. So he gave it to him honest. So we had some fun with that. But what do you think, Felix?
If he can clean up his consistency, I mean, he's a top 5 quarterback. The problem was he just threw a lot of dirt balls, but I think another year in the offense where he feels a little bit more comfortable, I think the efficiency is gonna get better. Yeah.
You didn't like that I gave the backstory. See, Joey, we got some Caleb fans in here, man.
Yeah, I know.
We all believe in the upside. Yeah. They got a ton of Bears exposures, and they're not even Bears fans. They're rooting for the Bears. Felix is a Chargers fan. And I believe JSU is a Patriots fan, correct?
I
think so, right? I don't know if he has like a set team, but
I think I talked to him about it. I don't think he's like set on anything. Yeah, I think it's just more about what.
He's just an NFL guy. He loves his teams. Yeah, very, very unbiased approach.
Yeah.
All right, we are about to come up here. Things are moving quickly here. I don't know about. I like Josh Downs here typically, but I think we could probably go Justin Herbert here.
Yeah, that would be that'd be fun.
Yeah, I don't want to go overly crazy on this team.
No, if we go Herbert, we can't. We have to go a third quarterback.
Oh, because we got bye week 7. Okay, I see what you're saying. You like Chris Godwin here? I like that move too, especially with the Ibuka stuff, which we can kind of touch on a little bit. So it sounds like he's got turf toe from the latest reports.
That's what it sounded like.
But they don't seem like he's going to be good to start the season, which already hampers things. I mean, I feel like the Bucks just always have like the worst luck when it comes to injuries in their wide receiver room. So I've been in on Chris Godwin, someone who's dealt with a lot of injuries. But I do believe that Chris Godwin in that slot role that he is expected to still run, and Zach Robinson being there and kind of still bringing some of that concepts that Liam Cohen had on this team, because they've worked together, I think, going back to the Rams team. So I'm interested to see how they try to smoothen things out and makes things a little bit easier for Baker Mayfield. We are coming up on the board here.
I don't know if it's lagging, but Blake Corum would be a nice.
Oh man, that's an automatic click here.
Yeah.
I've already shared with you how much I have of Blake. So
I know, but like it kind of fits in here. Like I'm starting to think Jonah Coleman might be the RB2 or RB1 maybe for the future for the Broncos. So as much as I have been taking Harvey, I think it might be Jonah Coleman.
I've been taking some more Jonah Coleman, man, especially where he's going. I think the bet you're making on him over here on Best Ball is solid, man. I mean, when you need him, if he's your fourth, fifth running back in your running back room, as far as your roster construction goes, you really just need him to take that role somewhere mid to late season. And if he takes that role anytime earlier on, your team definitely can start cooking for sure.
And it's a little week 17 bring back for Chris Godwin.
He said, real question is, can Caleb become accurate? Haven't seen it yet. He even struggled with that in college. I'm telling you, man, he is pushing this Caleb Williams narrative awfully much. The thing with Caleb Williams was that he wasn't even that bad in college either. He was really rolling in that Lincoln Riley offense. I think that a lot of the stuff that he dealt with in college had a lot to do with how terrible, and terrible is an understatement of how bad his offensive line was.
Yeah,
he was just
constantly
forced,
running.
Yeah, he was forced into positions to constantly run. There he goes with the laughing emoji. All right, man. So yeah, we took Blake Corum there. We are currently with a 1-3-3-1 build. We're off to a really solid start. If you guys are just joining us for the very first time, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification button. We are out here. We are doing our first BBM of the night over on Underdog. What are your takes here? Because I feel like running backs start taking a drop. I do like our current build right now, where I feel like we do not have to force this.
We're
position
nice and
here.
balanced. Yeah, we're nice and balanced.
Bye weeks don't even impact us. I think we should start, man. I look at this wide receiver room, talented for sure, but I see a lot of injury risk here in the past.
Yeah.
It kind of scares you away. But I feel like this team, the way we're building it so far, we can start adding some guys on the board. Who we have right now, I'm not sure if you can see it.
Yeah, I see it.
We have guys like Matthew Golden would have been, but honestly, any of these two guys, I would be good with.
Same. And over at Run Pure Sports, we have a little like NFL Sports Hub, and you can look at like coaches, like what they rise up. And it's going to bring out Pittman. Pittman is one of the, he's going to be underneath Mike McCarthy, and he raises the floor of a lot of wide receivers. So, I mean, it kind of fell into our lap there that he's going to be underneath that system, and it could raise his potential upside.
Especially given how Aaron Rodgers is at this point of his career, it just seems like Pittman's going to be the perfect guy for him.
Yeah.
We did mention yesterday, we were just talking a little bit about it. This thing's it feels like it's lagged a little bit, this draft room per se. But yeah, I do still feel that Rodgers has these tendencies that have not gone away. And when he trusts a player, he typically sticks with them. So when I think of players like DK Metcalf and Jalen Warren, having those players another year in the system for him is something he kind of leans with. We were talking about that last night. We were kind of going when he went over to the Jets, bringing guys like Alan Lazard, who you and I both know should not be on an NFL team at this point. I even forgot he's still on an NFL roster, if I'm not mistaken, too. I still think he's on the Jets. I'm gonna double check that again, but I think he is, and just buried in there if he hasn't been cut already. But that's a name that I just recently saw come up out of the woodworks because something happened to him, or he's dating someone who's kind of famous, and it was on TMZ. And I was like, oh God, I thought Alan Lazard was gone. But anywho, Aaron Rodgers has this tendency of bringing his guys with him wherever he goes. We are back up on the clock here. Any thoughts on the wide receivers here as far as quarterbacks go?
It was either Baker Mayfield or Kenneth Gainwell. Wide receiver wise, I do like Wandale.
You like Wandale?
Yeah.
Yep, we probably got him here just in time. See, around here, I'll be honest, Casey Concepcion is one of those guys that I typically click. I do like Wandale for a site like DraftKings.
Yeah, I typically like him for DraftKings as well. I just think, on the safe side, in case we do hit an injury or something along those lines, and or a backset quarterback, like I really don't prefer not to attach myself to any of the Browns quarterbacks. Though I do have quite a bit of kids, Casey and Denzel. I do like to at least have a quarterback that I think is going to play the entire season.
We also have a Week 17 correlation with Tennessee and Pittsburgh, having Michael Pittman and Wan'Dale Robinson. If we are really, obviously since we added him to our team here, one of the bullish cases you can make for Wan'Dale Robinson coming over to Tennessee with Brian Daboll, who is the offensive coordinator, the play caller on the team. He was brought over, and Brian Daboll has coached that offense for him. Wan'Dale Robinson is very familiar with it. So coming in, we've seen this in the NFL when you connect those dots, the familiarity to these players and their coaches really puts things on top. There's a guy that I have not been drafting. I don't think I have. Maybe I've done something crazy in a puppy. But a deep pool is Tylan Wallace. Do you remember Tylan Wallace from Baltimore?
I drafted so much Tylan Wallace.
Yes, not this year though, right?
No. Okay. It was like 3 years ago. He was like my 17th round sleeper that I would take on every team.
Well, Tylan Wallace, I probably do have one team. I can probably look that up. I'm sure I've clicked his name once or twice. But the only thing I would mention with Tylan Wallace in conversations to coaches and players, Todd Monken going over to Cleveland and bringing Tylan Wallace with him seemed like a very underrated signing that not a lot of people were paying attention to. I have this weird feeling that Tylan Wallace is going to make this team and probably play somewhat of a decent role to start the season while these young guys kind of move up a little bit. Now, I'm not saying it's going to impact for fantasy purposes. It might be better off for maybe a DFS slate when you need that zero, that under 1% sleeper to just throw on a roster.
That $200 play.
Correct. But definitely not on the best ball routes. But when I think about how coaches go on to teams, that is the reason why I mentioned a guy like Tylan Wallace, because I think that's a big thing. Jaden Higgins is hurt. I think Malik Willis is probably the route we go here, and I think we can close out these two quarterbacks. This is I'm not sure where you stand with Malik Willis.
I don't have a lot of them. I recently got a couple shares, but I don't have a lot of them because I don't really know who to pair up with them, and it's kind of a messy team. So I don't typically try to go that route. But if they're week, aren't they week 17 opponents? So that works out too.
Yeah, and the other thing is Dalton Kincaid was taken before us. But yes, they are week 17 correlated. And then Malik Willis is, has somewhat of that profile. Obviously, he's nowhere near the talent as Josh Allen, but he is a dual threat quarterback. And I think that's going to play and it's going to benefit a little bit us here when drafting just two quarterbacks. You're anchoring everything with an elite quarterback like Josh Allen. And hopefully that week when Josh Allen is on his bye week, we can hope that Malik Willis does enough to keep us there. But having that rushing upside really does well. And what I also like about Malik Willis is that you can backstack him at the very end. But he's also, just like Josh Allen, they can both go unstacked. All right, we're back up on the clock here.
What position do you think we need?
I mean, I don't like taking Khalil Shakir, but it feels like he just makes sense due to having Josh Allen. So I'll take him here. But he's not a name I click often.
Same. I like to pair. I was pairing him a lot with Keon. Obviously, he went down today with the sprained foot toe thing. I don't really understand what he went down with.
Yeah, he's like in a walking boot, I think I read, right? Keon Coleman you're talking about?
A sprained foot. So for whatever that is, I'm like, okay, that kind of stinks. I have been pairing my Josh Allen teams mainly with Kincaid. And then if I need a last round dart, I do throw in Keon. But I did pair him up with Josh Palmer today, which was weird to get a Josh Palmer.
Yeah, no, I have not clicked that name. What's funny is that last year everyone was obviously clicking that name.
Yeah.
All the drum beats, noise coming out of camp were high because he was going to be the number 2 wide receiver. Feels like that has been the storyline with the Buffalo Bills. It's who is going to be the number 2 guy. There was always that question mark, especially when Stephon Diggs were there. So really wanted Dalton Kincaid. That's the guy I wanted to click so badly there, but he was taken before we did go up there. Let me pull up the board here for you guys so everyone can take a look and see how this draft has come about. We have a 2-3-6-1 build to start. Julio mentions, does Daniel Jones stock rise with the addition of Keenan Allen? Does that make him worth drafting in best ball or redraft? Well, what say you, Felix?
I think I'm indifferent about it. I think he kind of not struggled, but like declined some like on the back half of that. Like, and I'm a Keenan Allen guy, you know, like he was one of my boys like when he was drafted in the 3rd round from Cal, like one of my guys. But it has leveled off and definitely gone down quite a bit. But early season, and you're going to get some consistency and some, you know, some touchdowns taken away. But I think it's more of a neutral play. It's more about, hey, he's going to be there until everybody's healthy, and then when Pierce gets back, he'll probably be like a second, you know, somebody you're not really thinking about. But yeah,
no, I hear you, and I think Keenan Allen overall, the best time to draft him was prior to the news. So if you had beliefs that he was going to play in the league, just like Felix had belief that Najee Harris was going to get signed, that is usually the best time to jump in on those guys, because now the cost of those players where they're getting drafted doesn't feel like the return is huge on them. But Keenan Allen, to me, is much, much better over on DraftKings for the PPR purposes. I'm not sure if he's going to be running pure this year with touchdowns. But yeah, as far as like fantasy points wise, I think that he makes the most sense on DraftKings. So especially if he's going to start rising, I will be avoiding a little bit more. But I do think it does benefit some of the players on the team. And it's going to open up some things for other guys as well here. All right, we are back up on the board. We do have Daniel Jones here. I think we should go away from that. Jalen McMillan is an option.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lloyd, what say you?
Trey Harris.
Trey Harris, I like that.
I think even with like QJ getting a little nicked up, they believe in all 3 of those receivers as like number ones in their head. And I don't know. I like to bet on the Chargers when possible. I personally probably would have gone Daniel Jones. I am I do love getting 3 quarterbacks, especially since we do have, you know, 2 of the pieces. But I get it.
Yeah, no, and I think I feel that the news that we just got on Quentin Johnston, if it does become a lingering issue, this is huge for Trey Harris.
Yeah,
because I felt like they were kind of playing somewhat of a similar role possibly in this offense. I still do believe Ladd McConkey is the number 1 option when it comes to this offense, but that X receiver role, I thought Trey Harris, you know, I've been doing more of the avoiding Quentin Johnston at price and then drafting a lot more Trey Harris, just hoping that Trey Harris can beat him out at some point in the season, because I do believe Quentin Johnston may start off with that role, but given his recent background, you know, I think that he's also in a position where he can easily lose the same role, and Trey Harris at the area he's getting drafted can easily spike up right away. Yeah. All right, we're about to come up here. I think. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was like, we should probably be targeting tight end here. Either like, and I like Hunter Henry, but I think Terrence Ferguson to match up with our Week 17, you know, game stack that we have with the Tampa Bay also makes sense.
Perfect. No fighting here. I love me some Terrence Ferguson. Let's go ahead and take Terrence Ferguson here. We currently have a 2-3-7-2 build. Our team looks like Josh Allen, Malik Willis, Jonathan Taylor, Omarion Hampton, Blake Corum. At wide receiver, we have T. Higgins, Rome Odunze, Chris Godwin, Michael Pittman, Wan'Dale Robinson, Khalil Shakir, Trey Harris. At tight end, we have Tyler Warren and Terrence Ferguson. Feel like we are coming up to a really solid room here. I think we could start taking a look. There goes Keenan Allen. See, round 14 at this point.
Yeah.
I rather take some of the I'd rather even take Jacoby Lane at this point, in my honest opinion.
Jacoby Lane's a way better pick. And Jalen McMillions is still there. Like, he's just back healthy. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of players I'd rather take than Keenan. And no offense, again, he's one of my guys, but not anymore, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see here. Jacoby Lane has been one that has been flying up the boards. Obviously, everything coming out of camp has been great for him. In return, what has that done? It's kept Rashad Bateman in the 18th round and kept guys like Elijah Surratt. So I just feel if you can't land a Jacoby Lane, I'm still very open to the idea of getting a Rashad Bateman or Elijah Surratt. I have a ton of Surratt, so I've been also mixing in a little bit of Rashad Bateman because when it's all said and done, best ball, as you already know, spike weeks. So when you're getting those guys back there, that's really ultimately what you're asking for. Anytime you're drafting these guys higher, the demands are higher based on the roles that they have. The one guy you feel extra uberly confident will be Zay Flowers, being the wide receiver one on this team. Everything else after that, we shall see.
Yeah, I'm heavy on the Mark Andrews bags. I'm both on DraftKings and Underdog. Too. I just think he's the solidified number 2 option right now.
And he's cheap. Very cheap.
Super cheap for being a former top 5 tight end. I don't see the drop off as much as everybody else does. I think he has some stone hands when it comes a little bit closer to the red zone, but I think it's a lot of zip that Lamar puts on the ball when he's down in the red zone. Doesn't want to throw those interceptions, but I think there could be a touchdown regression, and just a lot of upside. Like a lot of the receivers just got themselves out of that offense after this past year.
Now, I will be honest. As much as I love Adonai Mitchell here, if we can get Jadon Blue, I think he's a great pickup here. I think we should be targeting someone in our running back room.
Okay, I was either thinking Samson or Blue, so that works out.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine clicking that name as well. Jadon Blue, welcome to the team. And we have the 4 running backs there. And then with this next pick, based on some of those names we threw out, we have Samson that we can consider here. Heck, I think Brian Robinson is just a fine pick as well down here. Because if something were to happen to the other Robinson on that same team, this could be a big backfield.
How many running backs are you thinking this team needs?
I think 5 or 6.
Okay, because
based on what I'm seeing,
there's a good 18th round pick right now.
Oh man, honestly, the way this team is shaping up, we could very well go with him. So I see what you're throwing out there. All right, wide receiver, 2 tight ends. Another guy I've been fine with drafting late when he drops is like a Fernando Mendoza, but I don't really think we need a third quarterback on this team. Are you good with Adonai Mitchell here?
AD Mitchell, Brian Robinson, and then
let's go Brian Robinson. Again, I take a lot of AD Mitchell, and that's just more of a my guy pick. We had Greg Dulcich on the board, but honestly, even late rounds, since we can do the 17th and 18th round with your guy, he might be pushed up now in the 17th round. We'll see how this looks, and I'm hoping.
Are you Chris Douglas, a Chris Bell or a Caleb Douglas?
So that's what I was going to mention. I do like Chris Bell. I've been targeting Chris Bell now. Caleb Douglas, I'll be honest, even when he was cheaper, I wasn't targeting as much. And there are times I'll try to click him when he's like right around here. I still think there's still Caleb Douglas is going to start the year with a solidified role. And obviously, if you're following the draft capital where they drafted him, that's one whole other thing, right? But as far as talent goes on that team, I'm more intrigued by Chris Bell. And the latest news that we got from him that he's currently off the NFI list, meaning he's going to be, revamping a lot earlier than we expected. My thoughts were always like he might start off on the PUP list. And had he started off on the PUP list, I knew and felt, at least in my mind, they were just going to be very slow to bring him because there's no reason to rush him. I expect this to be one of the worst teams in the league, if not the worst team in the league. So I can see also a rotation of wide receivers. Another guy, sleeper guy that I personally like too, that I can see gaining a role somewhat towards the tail end of the season. He's been a little banged up during camp right now. It's Kevin Coleman Jr. from Mizzou.
I heard I think Derek Brown. I think he's with Fantasy Points. I could be wrong.
Fantasy Pros. Yeah,
Fantasy Pros. Sorry. He was telling somebody about that was his one guy. That is who's the biggest sleeper coming out of Miami's camp was Kevin Coleman. So I've definitely heard that.
So he's been hurt, so he hasn't been able to show off all that. I was hoping to see him. Maybe we might see him during this preseason. But yeah, Kevin Coleman was the guy who basically went to Mizzou after Luther Burden left. So they had a whole plan set up nicely for him, and he man, he really popped off over there. He showed a lot of that explosiveness. There was right before the draft, he was actually a player that I wanted to see on the Bears as a late round pick, to see him come with Ben Johnson. I really just wanted to see him on a team with a offensive minded guy who can utilize him correctly. All right, we're coming back up on the board here. We are round 17. I think this is the round we should take your guy here. Hopefully we can keep him.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Yes, we do take them. And man, I can only imagine JSU watching us and seeing two Felixes draft Najee Harris and just clicks off and goes.
He won't let me draft him on his team, so I was like, I gotta get somewhere.
I'll make sure to screenshot this and send it his way that we did pull it off, because he even mentioned it yesterday. I threw it just to mess with him, and he already looked at me. He was like, Felix, I'm about to hop off this stream if we draft Najee Harris. But I even told him, and we talked about it on your stream, Art Stapleton really poured it out there. He said, I fully expect him to sign by either tonight or tomorrow, and he ended up signing this morning. So maybe that news
he's already out there
shifted.
practicing.
Yep, exactly. And he's been there for like a week, I heard.
Yeah, from what I understand too. Like they already had planned on bringing him in. So
yeah, so we're gonna take him here. I'll queue up Chris Bell. I think he is in a good spot. What's up, No Limit Soto? He's up. Cubs just walked off again. All right, back to football. Man, wow. Who walked it off? I know PCA had a monster home run yesterday to walk things off. They're playing the White Sox.
I had him on all of my teams last year.
Did you?
Or this past year, yeah.
Man, Isaac Tesla dropping this low feels crazy.
I love me some Isaac Tesla.
Oh, we're going to have to take him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And then we have Roma Dunze, that week 17 correlation.
Yeah.
I was ready to do the stack thing here, but again, we don't need to force that.
Yeah.
I haven't look at even Fernando Mendoza would have been a great pick in the 18th round, to be honest. I've taken a lot of them. Oh, it was Alex Bregman. All right, nice, man. He said Felix and Felix. Yep. It's like the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah. I try to do it. I'm not a great photographer.
Oh, with the Photoshop?
Yeah.
The Spider-Man meme would have been awesome for this.
Yeah.
All right, let's pull up. Speaking of JSU, Charlie Kolar goes off the board. One of his guys. Man, Fernando Mendoza and Isaac Tesla was not in my bingo card here for round 18.
I like that Keon Coleman went off the board before both of those guys.
Yeah.
He just came up with some bad news. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard too much of an update on Keon Coleman, but I did hear he was in a walking boot. Now, what does that mean? We shall see. But yeah, I personally, my exposure right now to my highest exposures on quarterbacks are Caleb Williams and Fernando Mendoza, and a lot of it is due to that. All right, for the Mr. Irrelevant and could be relevant pick is Rashad Bateman, which is an excellent pick right here. Let's go ahead and recap this team. If you guys want to hop on and do a BBM draft with us, we'll be doing one here shortly after this. Our recap is a 2-6-8-2 build. We have Josh Allen, Malik Willis. At running back, we have Jonathan Taylor, Omarion Hampton, Blake Corum, Jadon Blue, Brian Robinson, and Najee Harris. I think we rounded up this running back room a lot better, and it feels comfortable there. At wide receiver, we have T. Higgins, Rome Odunze, Chris Godwin, Michael Pittman Jr., Wan'Dale Robinson, Khalil Shakir, Trey Harris, and Isaac Tesla as our round 18 pick, which is a massive drop-off. Maybe we missed on some news, but I have not seen him drop this far down. And then at tight end, we have Tyler Warren and Terrence Ferguson. We are going to go ahead and move over here. Let's go ahead and hit another Best Ball Mania. So if you guys want to hop on with us, let's see how many. Oh, we got a space for one more person. So if you guys want to take that spot, it is available to you. We have Felix Castro on the show with us. Make sure to hit the like button, show some support, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that notification button to stay tuned for all the great things we have in store. We are all, man. Do you see that, Felix?
No, I don't see it. Look at the one.
Look at the vibes right here, man. We got the 101, sir.
Sorry, my big head's in front of
No, you're good. It's the screen. I have it right there. The 101, sir.
Nice.
The 101, So we might go Najee here to kick things off. Who knows?
Go. The year after I won it, I went Najee 101 every turn.
That is crazy. But I guess you were capable of doing stuff
Dude,
like
I
that
was such
after
in a
that
good
big win.
space. And I still got 7 finals teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had Najee on all of those finals teams, and he went off that game. It was just unfortunate that that
That's
Bills Bengals game really messed me over that year with the unfortunate sort of death and a rising. You know,
like I said, even if Keon Coleman had good news, I wouldn't take him before
yeah, that's
Tesla.
wild.
Yeah,
That's
no,
wild.
that was wild. I agree with that as well. Kind of
August
why
draft.
we took him here. I'm not going to milk this clock. We're going to get our
No.
guy Jahmyr Gibbs. My exposure isn't as great as Felix Castro here. So thank you for giving us the good vibes and bringing the 101 to us. That was very important here because I definitely don't want to be behind on the Gibbs train. But yeah, I've lucked out more with
Back-to-back
with
short picks there.
with Bijan and whatchamacallit, and more Jamar Chase and Bijan. I mean, I can pull that up and give you a better feel for that. But yeah, as far as exposure goes, I know you shared some of it. Who's your highest overall exposed player right now
I mean,
on Underdog?
on Underdog, I think it might be Josh Allen, but let me pull up my X real quick. No, it's Travis Etienne.
Is it?
Etienne. Yeah. Which he got some good news a little bit today. Unfortunate due to an injury, but
Yeah, I was going to say that because Alvin Kamara is a little banged up. They said that he's going to be out for a few weeks now. So, yeah, this is only great news for Etienne. And I don't feel like I have enough of Etienne. That's another guy I need to absolutely put a little more weight on him with everything that's going on before everyone obviously starts reacting to that.
I was overdrafting him. I was taking him every time in the 3rd round. And then we got some, like, we didn't get bad news. We just got news that Alvin Kamara, like, restructured. And it, like, moved his ADP back to the 4th round. So I was like, I felt awkward taking him still at the early 3rd. So I let it go. But I don't know. I might have to go back to the early 3rd stuff because it feels good again.
Gotcha. Bijan Robinson, I'm at 11%. And then the other guy that we were just talking about, Gibbs, I mean, after this draft, I will finally hit the 5% mark. It's been that rough for me, man. Have not gotten Travis Etienne. I'm at 5% Etienne. We gotta definitely, or Travis Etienne. I gotta get that up. Definitely get that up. Hopefully, things can shift the right way in this draft. We are drafting from the corner. We did get the 101. We landed Jahmyr Gibbs, so things are flowing right now. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification button. We got a lot of fun things planned. We got our guy Felix Castro on the channel, former Millie winner here. He did it over on DraftKings, and just giving all the fun strategy and vibes with him that landed us the 101. He said K9's percentage. Let's see. I have been drafting a lot of Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker, we are at 12% Kenneth Walker.
I'm pretty far down there. It doesn't look good. It's at 1%. And it's not an anti Kenneth Walker. I have plenty of Kenneth Walker on DK.
Who's been there for you?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I run pretty pure on the top 3 picks, so it's not an anti Ken Walker. It's more that I've only been getting certain.
You just haven't been lucky. Yeah, it's the same with Gibbs. It's not that I'm anti Gibbs. I just haven't gotten lucky with Gibbs. Josh Jacobs going at 20. Bit of an overreaction to the news we got today, huh?
Love August. My favorite month of draft.
We get a lot of new drafters that are coming in here. And look at Olave jumping to pick number 23. Dude, we're getting, oh man, this is
okay. What do you like here? There's a lot of picks I like here.
Neighbors and London for me feels like excellent picks.
Please give me Neighbors all day, every day.
I'm huge on Neighbors, man.
If he had gotten the negative talk at the beginning of the summer, I think he would have been at the 1-2 turn. Yeah. I think if he would have been in that conversation of like Lamb, Jefferson area.
Yeah, and I think the reason why he's going in the 2-3 turn has a lot to do with the fear of re-aggravating that injury. And, obviously this is how ADP, everything is really just baked in there, right? Everything shifts and moves based. I mean, I'm shocked that even Christian McCaffrey has stayed put at 5 with how much the noise has been with folks. And I'm not talking about media or reporters, just fans, always constantly trying to bring Christian McCaffrey down. He's old, he's always injured, and all those things are right.
Player. Yeah.
But it's really hard to say no to. You know what I mean? Like Christian McCaffrey is one of those players. Yeah, he's like, all right, keep fading McCaffrey, because if he has one of those years, and he had a really solid year last year, that's one of those guys that can easily pay off his price and more, and he can be a top 3 player for sure there. And that was a conversation. That was actually a question. If you guys haven't checked out that stream, of course, check out that stream after we're done here. But I did a stream last night with JSU, and we talked about that. He mentioned, and he brought up to me, he was like, if I told you Christian McCaffrey was guaranteed healthy and played every game this season, where do you think he ends up? And I was like, top 3 overall. He was like before Jamar Chase? I'm like, yeah, because you typically value a running back at that point over here on Underdog. And with that type of volume, you know that you can make that decision between these 3 running backs and feel very comfortable with. But of course, those guarantees aren't granted to us, which is why the prediction aspect of all of it is kind of why players are placed in the positions they are in. One of my big takes this offseason has been that I think Kenneth Walker is firmly when it's all said and done, he's going to be like right here.
Yeah, I agree.
9, 10. Like, I think he's that good. And I think the fear, and there goes Etienne, I think the fear with Kenneth Walker is what we saw in Seattle. So recency bias kind of impacts and affects how people draft. So because we saw so much in Seattle with Charbonnet, but literally just pay attention to that running back room. They got a rookie in Emmett Johnson who looked decent in this preseason game. And then Brashard Smith, you know what I mean? Like, you're kind of going down this path here where Kenneth Walker, they paid him some big money. Yeah. He is going to be heavily relied on. I've talked ad nauseum about how Eric Bieniemy brought back to Kansas City to help a team that's just been god awful at the run game the last couple of seasons. It's very hard not to believe that Kenneth Walker is not going to have a big season this year. So usually when he's there, honestly, I wouldn't have taken him over Justin Jefferson because I would have valued that wide receiver there.
Yeah,
but I do like Kenneth Walker.
Mm-hmm. A CD Jefferson would have been nice, you know.
Those are pretty rare, honestly. Like, it doesn't happen as often anymore because I feel in the first round people are taking them.
I feel like I have a lot of Barkley Jefferson, which is kind of funny that he still got that combo, but
all right. I think you kind of know who I might want here, depending if he's on the board.
Yeah, and all right, so that's a lock. We can talk about what we're going to do next one.
Ooh, man, this wide receiver room is feeling quite nice. All right. I don't feel the need to force any other position. I'm cool with wide receiver here. Is there a wide receiver you like?
I like all the wide receivers. I like Terry and DJ, but Tootin would be okay. Yeah, DJ is good. Yeah.
Okay, my fault. I was trying to hold it down here as long as possible. I think one of the best things what you could do with the first round pick is anchor your team with that running back, right?
Yeah.
And instead of trying to force a decision here with these guys, Tootin at this point, I've drafted a ton of Tootin.
I'm a Tutu, fan myself. So.
Yeah, I just feel one of the things I've been talking about in my streams lately, I just feel his price has finally gone up to where I thought he should be getting drafted. So now the click is not as instant as it used to be because I think he's fairly priced now. And there's still some other options I like on the board at this point. And then now this whole Chris Rodriguez stuff is kind of impacting the way I think. Yeah. I would have loved Mike Evans there too, by the way. Mike Evans is usually a really solid pick for me there.
Came up a little tight today, a little substation. I'm a little nervous about that.
What's up with the tightness stuff, man? Christian McCaffrey dealing with tightness, and then Mike Evans report dealing with some tightness. I'm like, I can't do it anymore.
You know what it is? I heard you guys talk about it over, or maybe I heard JSU talk about it today. I think it was everybody's fine. And then that's the worst you could hear in my head. They're like, yeah, everybody's fine. Everything's fine. And he was fine today.
Once you hear a fine report, you get worried. You're like, oh, fine does not sound good, man.
That's the year of fine and tightness.
Yes, that's what we heard with Kyle Monangai, who is currently out for multiple weeks. Adam Schefter reported a few days prior, he was just like, yeah, Kyle Monangai is fine. And we were like, okay, what does that mean? And then the next day, he's out for multiple weeks. I'm like, that's not fine. Fine is he dodged a bullet. He's going to be out for a few games. A few days, and then be back and ready to go week 1. And it sounds like week 1 could be in jeopardy as well. Well, we took DJ Moore. I was kind of making the point there over Mike Evans because of the week 15 correlation with the Chicago Bears. Obviously hoping we can get a little stack here going. We got some really solid players. Let me tell you something, man. This kind of start on a BBM feels quite nice. We started off with Jahmyr Gibbs at the 101, Drake London, Malik Neighbors, Luther Burden, and DJ Moore. I know one of my guys, if he's not on tonight, he'll probably watch and shoot me a text tomorrow. He says, you always like clicking Luther Burden. Man, 4 or 5 turn Luther Burden in best ball. I am going to click that name over and over again. You know, that I'm going to be betting on him so much this year. Julio says, why not Nico at that last turn? I think it was just really a preference thing for me.
Yeah, it was for me too. Yeah, it was more like, one, you don't get a lot of Gibbs London. That doesn't happen every time. So that's already like kind of a unique pairing. And then Neighbors is my guy. So I'm going to go that route personally.
Yes, sir. I agree, especially at that 2-3 turn. Malik Neighbors all day for me. And then, and that's the thing. It's not that Nico Collins is not a good player. I love Nico. No. And you're a Michigan guy too. So Nico Collins is great. It's really just, I like this row so much for Drake London. Obviously, the question marks are going to be with Tua, but I think Tua's just fine for what Drake London's going to need.
Yeah, and if he doesn't get it, they're gonna bring in Penix if he's not getting it to London.
And we saw how things worked out with Penix and London too. You know what I mean? So even if Penix is not good again, we are looking at it from a fantasy perspective, and things obviously look different. Chaser says I probably have 100% exposure to Luther Burden. That is not true, my friend. Not 100. I wish, but I'm creeping up there. Maybe after this draft, we're touching near 30%. I think I'm at the 28% range. Any little dipperoo with Luther Burden now, because people are focused in on this groin injury. I said it too. I was like, oh, now for sure. If I get a chance at a 5th round Luther Burden, honestly, I made a mistake there, man. I did. I should have taken DJ before Luther and just told you I got a 5th round pick Luther Burden to show off that 5th round ADP. All right, we're back on the board here. We got to go Caleb. And then what do you think as far as running backs go? Do you like Jalen Warren here or Jonathan Brooks? I think those are the 2 guys that I would be in between for sure.
Jalen Warren, I think, is the better bet. Not really anything off of ADP, but it's more of a preference here. But Jalen Warren, he brings a nice stability. Don't get me wrong, I've drafted quite a bit of Rico Dowdle, but it's definitely gonna be Warren to start off with, and he's good in the passing game. He's good everywhere. So it's more about can't predict the future. We don't know exactly who Mike McCarthy is gonna prefer. But I think the right now the leg up is going to go to Jalen Warren.
Yeah, and I've takes like if Jalen Warren has anywhere near that Rico Dowdle role. The Kenny Gainwell role from last season, where Aaron Rodgers is just going to dump off the ball to him, and then also familiarity could help Jalen Warren. I feel like Jalen Warren is more of a Aaron Rodgers guy. And obviously, the upside is huge with Jalen Warren. I've always liked Jalen Warren's profile as a running back. I think there's still more meat on that bone that we have yet to see, and I think he's fully capable of a 3-down row, in my personal opinion. But Rico Dowdle is the Mike McCarthy guy, played for the Cowboys too. So I could see things like that happening, but everything we are hearing from camp, reporters are talking about is this is going to be a 50-50 split for the most part.
Yeah.
So where you're drafting them, I've been saying it on the stream, is a preference thing. I've had some people come on talking about just overall how Rico Dowdle could be the guy in place there. I really have been split right down the middle with both guys. I'm not drafting one more than the other. Like, for instance, the Blake Corum versus Kyron Williams, which is a whole other conversation. Because when we're talking about Blake and Kyron's going in the 2nd, 3rd round. And in this draft, he went in the 3rd round. I said 2nd because yesterday I did see him go right here in the 2-3 turn. But yeah, he's been more of a 3rd round kind of player. And then we're taking Blake Corum in the 8th or 9th round. It's an easier story to tell someone why you draft one over the other. But when it comes to that 50-50 split in that backfield, you're literally picking them up in the same round. Where has Rico Dowdle gone yet? Oh, he went. He actually went 2 picks. Yeah. So Warren has been the one who's been moving up a little bit more.
Yeah.
But they're not that far apart in range.
They're very similar. I was actually thinking about another 50-50 back with that we got in the previous draft. I'm like, well, if that fell to us, that'd be kind of nice again.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's okay.
He said, "You're definitely not getting Luther in our draft. He's going to be 112. Have fun with that, man. You take him at 112."
And I was fighting a lot of Jalen Warreners back in the day because of my guy Najee, but I
was one of them. That year, I think the year you won, if I'm not mistaken, that's probably when I first met you on X or Twitter.
Yeah.
And I was in the RPS Discord a lot too during that time. And there was the Najee fans and the Jalen Warren fans.
Yeah.
I was firmly a Jalen Warren guy.
Yeah.
And obviously Najee had a really strong season that year.
He had another 1,000 yards. And that was my whole point. You're going to get the consistency, but the explosiveness was always to Warren.
Yeah. All right, we're about to come up here. I think, running back we're going to need at some point here. Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt was someone I was hoping to go later.
Same, yeah.
Chuba, I'm not with the ankle injury. JK, I'm not. Kyle Monangai, not really either.
Jackson, we should just start Jackson and then look at what we do.
It feels so crazy to me to take Jackson Dart over Herbert, if I could be honest. That Herbert
we can take drop. I'll say we can take both.
I was going to say, I can get Herbert and we can find another way to utilize him. I think here we can go Jackson Dart. And honestly, I'm down for one of these tight ends or wide receiver. I love Kyle Pitts.
We have a small little bet on the Falcons. We can already we can pair it up there.
Yeah, and then we're taking the top 2 guys in that offense. So let's go ahead and do that. This team is kind of being set. I don't know how I got that up there. This team is really getting set. The team we're building right now to maybe add even a late quarterback. The guy we did mention. Yeah. I'm okay with him listen, round 18, the very last pick of the draft, if he happens to be there, may not be the worst click, honestly.
I agree.
All right, let's pull up the board here. So we did see Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt. Have you had any? Yeah, I get it now too, and a lot of it is the drumbeat on him. I've enjoyed taking him where I did take him. He's going to be one of those guys that's going to reach that point where you're like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. I need to hear more about it. Have you had, any strong takes when it comes to that running back room with Cross-Merritt, Rachaad White? I
take all 3, and I happily take all 3. I liked Rachaad White when he was down in Tampa, and then I'm a big fat man fan, the great nickname, and then
Patron Allen.
Yeah, and the way that he plays, I feel like it plays well with Rachaad White if the fumbling issues continue with JCM. But if JCM gets that under control, you got a really good back in JCM. So I think the future is you cannot predict what's going to happen there unless you're a fortune teller. I think the best way to play it is to take, when something falls to you. I think JCM being pulled up, this guy's riding the what's hot right now wave with Jonathan Brooks, JCM. 1 month ago, you could have got both of those guys 115 plus for both of them.
Yeah, before the news started getting stronger on Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt. Now, Bill Cross-Merritt, that's his nickname as well. I feel like Cross-Merritt was actually not a bad running back. I think things just didn't really fall his way last season. Yeah. I think he showed that explosiveness. He showed and he flashed a lot of that upside. Yeah. The thing with Rachaad White, I do like to connect dots here. And Rachaad White played at Arizona State with Jaden Daniels. So there is a form, who says it? Adam Leviton says it a ton. The shower narrative. Yes, and there is a shower narrative there with Rachaad White and Jaden Daniels. I feel that Rachaad White, no matter what, has a role on this team, especially as a pass catcher. Yeah. I don't think he's completely going away, but when it comes to the guy who has a clearer route as the RB1, I think it is Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt. Rachaad White was someone we would complain as fantasy fans, right? We would complain so much about in Tampa because it felt like even the moments, and there he goes as we're talking about him, anytime that he got an opportunity to be quote unquote the RB1, he struggled a lot as a runner in between the tackles and such.
the play calling was not really his style down in Tampa. I think with the new play caller, they might be able to utilize him more correctly in Washington as well.
All right, we are coming up here. I think I'm perfectly fine taking a Keaton Mitchell to add to this room here.
Okay. Yeah.
We can look at other options here. I think a wide receiver would do well. What are you thinking here? We might just have to click Keaton Mitchell's name here
first,
a little.
Yeah. Keaton Mitchell first. I like Dubs. I'm definitely I was a little scared with the Higgins injury. And then let's see here. I mean, Debo is always a good selection. Now working at both running back and wide receiver, so going to be used quite a bit. Yep. And if we wanted to go tight end, I'm a big Kincaid believer.
Yeah, no, I do like that with Kyle Pitts though on the team.
Kyle Pitts, and I'd really rather not double stack the Bills without
Josh Allen here. Yeah. We did take Josh Allen in the previous draft. My boy says, "Hell yeah, W for the fat man." Yeah. Katrin Allen. Man, it's funny because when you watch Penn State and saw Katrin Allen over there, he had a bigger year this past year, but Nicholas Singleton was kind of the guy over there for quite a while, and things didn't look that good for him last season. Still a guy I'm willing to bet on, like in dynasty purposes. Mm-hmm. I do like the idea of stashing him away because I still think he has upside to beat someone in this league, especially on a team like the Tennessee Titans. They're probably, obviously they're going to utilize Tony Pollard a lot this year, but Singleton could be the guy in the future.
Don't get me wrong. I did see. I maybe I don't know. I blew it off in my head the night of, but I didn't see him miss that pass protection. But I did see him like destroy running like linebackers when he was like running downhill. Like I think there's a lot of upside in his like when he's on the field. They're going to use him to run. They're not going to use him to pass block clearly, and he's going to look good when he's running that ball.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Sean Tucker-esque,
Yeah, I do agree. Now, I did want to mention running backs are flying off the board here. We still took Keaton Mitchell here to add to our running back room. Felt like we needed another body in there. Then we took Deebo Samuel. Honestly, I'm curious your thoughts now with the rise of DeJon Stribling and Deebo Samuel. Where are you when it comes to those two guys? If both guys were on the board at pick 121, who would you have gone with there?
I would have to go to Deshaun. I had to take the L. I did not take enough, before the preseason game. I was kind of like, yeah, he's just a guy, like like a Noah Brown, but I was wrong, and I capitulated. I will take him in the 120th area every time too. Debo is great. He's going to be whoever is hurt. He's going to be consistently on the field. Like he is, CMC's break, and he is Mike Evans' break. But I think the upside of DeShaun Stribling is massive.
I agree. I would be making that selection as well. I would be picking DeJon Stribling over Deebo Samuel, especially for best ball purposes. I feel like Deebo is going to be one of those guys, especially for daily fantasy, that I'm going to enjoy playing week 1, week 2 for sure. Yeah. He's going to be the guy who already knows this offense well, a familiarity with Brock Purdy, and I feel like they're going to try to feed him early and often to really see if he still got a little bit. I think
of what he's a sneaky play over on the battle royales over here on Underdog. He's going to be
actually a good point. Yeah. Do you do a lot of those battle royale drafts?
I do about 20 a week usually. I've taken down one, and I got fourth in another.
All right, we're back up on the board here. I would love to take Jonah Coleman here. Honestly, if you're cool with this, I like Jonah Coleman and Tank Bigsby here.
Okay, yeah.
Over the tight ends, just because we have Kyle Pitts, and I feel like we don't really have anybody necessarily to correlate with our guys.
I have 13% Tank, and let's see here, Jonah Coleman, I have 15%. So I'm overweight both of those guys.
Yeah, I think Tank Bigsby, we talked about it on your channel. If you guys want to check that out, make sure you go check out Best Ball Nation, our guy Felix Castro's channel over there. Hit that subscribe button and make sure to like that video. We were on last night. Actually, this morning, you can say, depending on what time zone you are in. So in the last 24 hours, we've been hanging out doing some drafts. We were drafting over on DraftKings. And we were having the conversation of Tank Bigsby, and I was kind of like just mentioning, and something I've mentioned a few times on the stream too. I feel like with the news and everything we're getting here, let me pull up the board here for you guys to follow. Everything we're getting with the news, like, you know, the most recent news we got on Saquon, that he was a little bit banged up as well. You know, if we were to get to this point, you know, everyone talks about CMC, but have we talked enough about the Saquon Barkley history as well? You know what I mean? We get on our guy CMC so much, but Barkley had the same issue too, where we know how great and elite he is, but when he is hurt, obviously things are gone, and we should be prioritizing some of those guys back there. Tank Bigsby, to me, is one of those guys that if something were to happen to Barkley, he's going to be an RB1 right away. He's going to fly upboards.
Dude,
like,
yes.
Fly upboards. I'm talking about not even in the double digit anymore. Like, we're talking about 9th round, possibly 8th round, right where you're taking the Dobbins and Manungai and even Ja'Cory Cross. Like, that's how huge. And maybe he goes even higher than that, because if you're guaranteeing that he's going to be RB1, that's going to be massive. But again, I still think the value of him is great there. And it's not baking in this idea of an injury, but it's also simply saying there are routes that they could preserve a little bit of Saquon Barkley given his injury history, which in return means Tank Bigsby will carry on somewhat. And, you know, I know you mentioned like 20%. I'm more on that 30% route. 30 to 35% snap share is what I think he's going to get somewhat this year. And if that becomes the case, he is going way, way too low.
Yeah, I'm in on the Tank, but it is a, you know, a bounce back coordinator job here, because I don't think it had gotten worse of a coordinator job. I know a lot of it falls on Sirianni, or it should fall on Sirianni, and it just doesn't. But I think we shall see how this new offensive coordinator implements, if it's a 2-back system or if it's going to be a 1-back system too. Like, that could also change things up. Like, if he intends to keep Saquon fresh, try to get him to the playoffs kind of thing. This offensive line is top tier too. So like, I think it's regardless, injury or not, I think you want pieces from this run game.
For sure. Sean Mannion is the new offensive coordinator, comes from that Shanahan tree. He was with Matt LaFleur over at Green Bay. So a lot of the concepts for that offense is very predicated on the run game. You know, just watch how Shanahan's offense runs and such. So all those things play a big part in it. And then my other thought process with it is, if indeed Jalen Hurts struggles a little bit with this offense, because this offense is going to be a little bit more difficult. It is now a quarterback-friendly role, but usually led by a running back. So if they are not trying to put too much on Saquon Barkley's back, that gives an opportunity for others to move up. All right, we're back up on the board. We got a 2-5-5-1 build. What do we feel here? We are selecting here quick. I'm going to hit this name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love Pat Bryant. And I was going to say, since we have a small bet on the Eagles right there, we could throw on Wicks as well.
Do you like Wicks here?
Yeah.
Yep. I'm perfectly fine taking Wicks here. Let's go ahead and take Pat Bryant and Dontavian Wicks. That's another guy who was getting selected a ton in the 18th round. Yeah. And the longer we've gone with Mekhi Lemon not practicing, we're starting to hear Devontae Smith getting back on the field. We're talking about two guys that are just that can easily get in places where Dontavian Wicks is going to shoot up. Speaking of Dontavian Wicks and connecting dots, Sean Mannion comes from the Green Bay Packers, and now the offensive coordinator, Dontavian Wicks. You know, we were talking about Tylan Wallace and Todd Monken. We were talking about Wan'Dale Robinson and Brian Daboll. If you're connecting the dots here, Dontavian Wicks came over from Green Bay and is now with the Philadelphia Eagles with no A.J. Brown. Dontavian Wicks is kind of set here to take on a much bigger role. And I think his role is actually going to look really solid. Wicks was someone I have drafted in the last couple years, literally the last couple best balls, a ton in the 18th round. He's someone I've always liked, you know, even as a Bears fan, I've always liked Dontavian Wicks.
It's his hands, you know what I'm saying? It's his hands.
Exactly. And maybe I have a thing for wide receivers like that because, you know, Adonai Mitchell's, you know,
Josh Palmer. Yeah. I love those guys. I love the guys that go deep, that have like this great open, you know, gets open. I love Dante Johnson, or not Dante Johnson. Yeah, Deontay Johnson. Former Panthers, former Steelers. Yeah,
Deontay Johnson. That's a
like I
name right
love
there.
guys that get open, love separators, and yeah, I have affinity for those guys. I actually sweated Sean Mannion. Speaking of which, when he was playing in 2021,
As a backup
thankfully
quarterback.
he was so crappy. Week 17 against the Packers, they played each other. And he was so bad, but I needed him to be bad because it was like, the second to last game was the Sunday night game, and they were that game was awful, and I was so happy that it was awful.
We are literally getting to the point now in NFL, as we get older, we're just watching these players that we used to watch. David Blau, backup
David
quarterback for
Blau.
the Detroit Lions,
Yeah.
is now a head coach. I'm sorry, not head coach, an offensive coordinator, but future head coach.
He's going to be head coach next year, yeah.
And there's just a lot of those names, man. We can go
Kellen
down
Moore.
the list.
Yeah, it's
Hey, listen, OC, not our OC, but assistant coach, wide receiver coach for the Chicago Bears is Antoine Randall. I remember him in the NFL. I also remember how hyped he was because he's an Illinois guy. He's a really good player. Yeah.
Antoine Randall was an awesome watch always.
And who else do we have? We have oh God, I'm like forgetting his name. Our quarterback coach was a former Ohio State quarterback. I cannot remember his name right now. It's passing me. I'm thinking of like all these guys that played for Ohio State. But we're coming up here. Let me focus in here. We have two. Okay, so we did see Mendoza and them run up here. Options here. We could take another tight end. I like some options here at tight end. I think. Yeah. Oh man, I take a lot of Greg Dulcich.
I'll say Duty Greg. Did we have any Titans on this one? I can't remember.
No, I don't remember, but I just had his name clicked there just in case. Time went up there.
Yeah, I'm okay with whatever.
And then for wide receiver, I think we should. Maybe we can push Tua. I don't think there's an. No, we should take. Tua. I don't know, man. I think we should take him just because we do have Kyle Pitts and Drake London. It feels like if we're trying to get their upside, this would be a really good spot for them. And I'm okay with a 3-quarterback room, and then we just take the best player available at this point here. Yeah. So we'll pull up the board here. Sorry, we were like down to the wire, but I think once we got the double stack and seeing the quarterbacks that already flew off the board. Look at last draft that you and I did. Fernando Mendoza was in the 18th round, flies to the 14th round, right where I think he should be getting drafted. Yeah. So, last draft, and that's the beauty of drafting around this time, I'll be honest. The way the board shapes up is so crazy. You have no idea sometimes who you're drafting with. And alongside of that, speaking of which, thank you so much for hanging out with us here. If this is your first time on the channel, make sure to hit that like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, hit that notification button. We are streaming every single day here till the NFL kicks off. We are currently on day 11 of 31 days of best ball. Having a good time, vibing out with our guy, Felix Castro, former DK Millie winner. And we are, look at his guy. Speaking of his guy, Najee Harris just gets taken off the board.
Oh, my goodness.
This is exactly where we're going to see him, man. He's going to be moving up. Little by little.
I told JSU as soon as he gets signed, 15th round is where he's going to finish. Yeah. So,
listen, I'm going to look up. I would be doing a disservice here if I don't know what's going on with Isaac TeSlaa.
I literally looked it up right now. I'm not even kidding you. I was like, man, I saw him when we were drafting the last round. I looked it up. It's just because he's having a slow camp, I guess.
Oh, I mean.
Like, that's the only thing I've seen. It's like Isaac TeSlaa was having a slow practice, but ended up Sunday's training camp session with a highlight reel grab. So it's like, I don't see anything else. I'm looking through. It really doesn't make sense.
I mean, I guess I'll still take them. I mean, these guys at this point, when you're drafting, you're looking for spike week guys, right? Yeah. Isaac TeSlaa fits that profile so much. Gunnar Helm is another one I've been seeing in round 17 and 18. And I'm like,
he's not getting any buzz, and I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, but that's not usually a bad thing too, right? Like, I don't think it's a bad thing if you're not getting as much buzz, right? Because if you go back to Gunnar Helm's like style of play at Texas, it's not like he's doing a lot of these flashy things to start. Cam Ward has struggled a little bit in camp, so if Cam Ward is struggling, his number one tight end is probably going to struggle as well if he's not getting him the ball. but he doesn't have much competition here, too. Man, it almost makes me feel like, damn, I wish we
Don't
would have
talk about
gotten
Daniel
Gunnar
Bellinger.
Helm. Oh, that's right. They did add Daniel Bellinger. But even then, I still feel Gunnar Helm is kind of the guy they're hoping for. In that second half of the season, I felt like we were starting to see Cam Ward and Gunnar Helm start building a really nice rapport. We had a few nice highlighted plays. And again, young quarterback, rookie tight end last season. Those things really play a big part when going into their second year together. All right, we are seeing Darren Waller. That's another name that is now in discussion. I've drafted a good amount of them. We are about to come up here, and quite honestly, I love what we have on the board.
So do I.
All right, what are you thinking here? Because Jeremy Bernard is someone I want to add more of. Yeah, and we got Kayshon Boutte here too.
Bernard, Booty, and I'm never going to tell you no about Cooper Kupp. Yeah, any of the receivers, and plus K-Tron if you wanted to go crazy on running back.
I'll hold off a little bit from K-Tron. Yeah. We're going to take Jeremy Bernard because I feel like as the last pick in this draft, he seemed too good to be true. All right, this draft felt kind of good here. We got a 3-5-8-2. We're going to go ahead and recap this. If you're just joining the stream, we just drafted our second Best Ball Mania team, hanging out over here with Felix Castro. At quarterback, we went 3-5-8-2. So we went with three quarterbacks. We got Caleb Williams, Jackson Dart, and Tua. At running back, we got Jahmyr Gibbs. So we got the 101. We ended up with Jalen Warren, Keaton Mitchell, Jonah Coleman, and Tank Bigsby. We got a lot of young players in here, and like a lot of folks like to say in the best ball streets, we needed a chaperone. Maybe Gibbs is kind of fitting for that in a way. We're just going to call him the chaperone of this team, or maybe Jalen Warren, right? At wide receiver, we got Drake London, Malik Neighbors, Luther Burden, DJ Moore. I feel that's such a strong four-man right there.
So good. Yeah.
And then on the back end, we get Debo, Pat Bryant, Dontavian Wicks, and Jeremy Bernard. I can't say enough. I love this wide receiver room. And then at tight end, we did get Kyle Pitts and Greg Dosage. Really like the way this team kind of played out for us here. It seemed like the right guys dropped at the right moments for us. All right.
No complaints about that team, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. All right. If you guys are still here hanging out with us, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification button. Do me a favor. Go on Felix Castro's page, Best Ball Nation. Make sure to hit the subscription button there. Subscribe to his channel. Like his videos too. And make sure to support that man's channel. He's doing some great things over there as well. Well, Felix, where else can they find you?
I have my ranks over at patreon.com/bestballnation. And I am heavily involved in the Discord over, in the best ball area and the NFL. Like I'm constantly in there. So if you do want to talk about any best ball at the Run Pure Sports, I'm in there constantly checking it out, make sure, there's no Najee slander. I'm just kidding. Any kind of talk. I'm always down to talk football.
And you also are streaming with JSU, correct? Run Pure Sports. You guys,
we're switching to Mondays because football on Thursdays.
There we go.
So we're switching to Mondays.
So make sure to check that out. If you enjoyed our conversation with JSU, him and Felix Castro, you can check out their previous streams too. So they've been doing quite a few streams already. Best balls throughout this off season. We've been grinding these streets. We're excited. The NFL is about to kick off real soon, and if you guys stay locked in here, again, drafting every single day until the NFL kicks off. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. We really do appreciate it. Having a good time here for Felix and Felix. Have a great night and peace.